Hi everyone, and welcome back to the 30-day energy boost. Y'all, we are in our 4th week. This is it. This is our last week, and I'm really excited about everything I've been hearing from everyone. I am so glad this is making a really big difference for you. I've been getting some really lovely messages from you all. It is amazing how we can control our energy levels, and if you really want more energy, uplifted energy, then you can take some relatively easy steps to make that happen for yourself. Now that we're in the 4th week, I just want to review with you what I really recommend doing. We've talked about very different things. We talked about sleep, we talked about nutrition, we talked about moving your body. Today we're going to talk about our hearts or our minds, our attitudes. And it's really well-rounded, right? A little bit of everything. What I really recommend more than anything is taking one from each of the 4 areas to begin to apply. It's going to be way too overwhelming to trying to do 4 tips and 4 different topics. Not to mention the 4th tip is all the Young Living products you could begin to use. Hello, it's like talk about overwhelm and then nothing will happen. Instead, pick little things. Now, you can keep track. I gave you the workbook for a reason, so you can keep track of what you're doing and what it is you want to continue to apply and do that in your life as you go along. But if you can add more and more and more, but for now, one simple thing from every week, because it's going to give you a really well-rounded effect, and you're probably going to be able to tap into what it is that has been draining your energy. If you really find the nutrition thing seems to make a big difference, you know that maybe you need to begin to apply more of those nutrition things. Or you're realizing, holy cow, my sleep is so much better. Maybe you want to apply a few more of the sleep tips. Okay? All right. So this week we're going to talk about attitude. Now, probably not a really big surprise to share that people who report, this is a self-report thing, right? You can't test, if you will, attitude. It can only really come from personal report. So people who report experiencing joy at least occasionally also self-report that they have more energy than people who report depression. They're not comparing. They're not saying, hey, I have more energy than that person. But they give their average energy on a scale, and they rate themselves. And they rate themselves higher than people who characterize themselves as depressed. Not a real big shock, right? Depressed people don't have a lot of energy. We've all been through those times in your life. You might be going through it right now. It's very hard to feel energized when you're not feeling upbeat. So this week I wanted to share with you 4 super simple, I always hesitate with super simple. Okay, they're little tweaks, but make a huge difference, okay? Sometimes they're dramatic tweaks. I'll let you be the judge of it as we go along. And these things will help you begin to shift your attitude. Now, let me tell you, the most important thing to remember, and that's true for all of these things, is what we're doing is I'm giving you action steps to do, not to stop doing, okay? So I'm not going to say, stop feeling this way, stop thinking about this, stop doing that, because as soon as you say, I'm going to stop doing something, you start doing it, because you're thinking about it. If I say, don't think about a pink elephant, what are you going to think about? A pink elephant, absolutely. So instead what we want to do is we want to put our attention on what we want to do, what we want to create, okay? So that's what the 4 tips are about. Okay, so let's look at each of the 4. First tip, gratitude. No brainer, right? I am sure you have heard about the attitude of gratitude and how powerful the attitude of gratitude can be for changing everything. This is like a game changer. When we are focused in our life on the things that are going wrong, which is really easy to do, right? Right now, when you think about your life, you think about your whole life, where our attention goes is where we're being challenged in a relationship, in a job, in finances, and that's where our attention is often focused a lot. And sometimes it needs to be because there are actions you need to take. Most of the time it doesn't need to be focused on that, at least to the extent that we're doing. Excuse me. And if we begin to shift and focus on where we're grateful, okay, so what parts of your life are going well? Where are you grateful in the area that you're challenged? Your health might be challenged, but when was the last time you were grateful you had 2 legs that work? or two hands that work, or if you only have one hand that works, that you have that one hand that works. And this may sound funny to some of you, and yet this can be a profound shift for many, many people. Worried about money? Can you be grateful you've got enough money for groceries today? Worried about or really struggling in a relationship? Maybe a relationship with your spouse. Maybe things are going really well with friends. You've got some really great supportive friends who are there for you, or vice versa. Like, where's your attention, on the challenge or the amazing areas? Now, what happens is when we put our attention on what we're grateful for, then it puts us in a better space so that when we do look at our challenge, we actually have more ideas for it. Okay, if we focus on our challenge and what I call spiral down, I know you've experienced this, right? It starts to, I had a friend who used to call it awfulize. To awfulize is going to get worse and it's going to get worse and I'm going to spiral down and it's going to be worse and worse and worse and worse. It's a bad place to make decisions. Never make a decision out of fear or desperation. It's never going to be the right one. Okay? So when you put your attention on what you're grateful for, it will help you slowly spiral up, or maybe fast. It can be, you can just catapult yourself up there and let yourself feel good in your life, and it will make a dramatic difference. So I am going to share with you a few things this week, actually tomorrow, on gratitude and how to enjoy gratitude. I encourage people to experience gratitude on 3 levels. The first is for life itself. When was the last time you said thank you for waking up today and having a whole another day around the sun to enjoy your life? The second is to remember to feel grateful for the things that are easy in your life. These are the things that you probably don't even think to be grateful for because they've always been really good. These are the areas that perhaps friends are jealous about from you because you've got it good. Things are going well. You have a great job, you have a great marriage, you have a great house, a great bank account, great health, whatever it is for you. Remember to feel grateful for that. And the third thing is, and this one's a little tricky, but stick with me, for your challenges. So you may not feel grateful for your challenge, but you can at least appreciate it. Realize that our challenges are brought to us to help us grow, evolve, shift, change, and think of any challenge you've had in your life that you're currently on the other side of. If you look back on it, you're probably going to realize that you are different as a result of that challenge. Maybe you're more flexible. Maybe you're stronger. Maybe you're able to speak up more or listen more. Maybe you're more spontaneous. Maybe you're more grateful. Maybe you're able to surrender or let go better. There's something that helped you to get to the other side. You had to change in order to move to the other side of that situation. So whatever challenge you're experiencing right now, take a moment to just look at it and go, I wonder what this could be teaching me. And list 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 things. You know, I am getting stronger. I am feeling more competent. I am feeling more confident, whatever it might be. And it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, right? That's not the point. The point is you start to appreciate it because you're like, okay, I'm learning. Okay? Now, a couple of ideas for gratitude. I do love a gratitude journal. I love there's something about writing it down. It brings it from the psyche down into the physical. So I do have a gratitude journal, and I write 10 things almost daily. Not every day, but almost daily. And I really try and stretch and not do the same 10 things every day, although there are about 4 or 5 things that I am so deeply grateful for. It hits my list every day. But I start to reach. I really try and stretch and think, gosh, you know what? I really am grateful that I live on an incredible rock in the middle of space, right? And I'm still on this rock. Like, how cool is that? With this perfect bubble around it that encases air so that we can all breathe. It's just things like that you don't necessarily think about. And start and end your day with gratitude. That's a great way to start your day in the right place, and then end your day in the right place. My husband and I like to say, what was the best thing that happened to you today? And we have a discussion before we go to sleep. It's like, what was that best thing? And it's really fun to do that for ourselves. Okay. Now, that was number 1, gratitude. That's the big one, okay? That's the big one, right? That can make a a dramatic, I keep saying dramatic shift. Ooh, and I will also I'll share the link to this too if I remember. The Magic is a 28-day gratitude, 28-day gratitude practice. That was hard for me. I love this. You should see how worn out my book is. I wish you could see. It's got lots of tabs, lots of dog-eared things. The cover's kind of wrecked because I've been through it probably 7 or 8 times. And I like to do it with people. So if you have someone you like to do it with, 28 days, 28 different practices. So some of them will be a little bit more profound than others, which is great because then you can continue those if you want. I love that book. Okay, that was number 1, gratitude. The second one is to choose people you spend your time with wisely. This is one of my favorite quotes. Quote, you feel the way the 5 people you spend the most time with leave you feeling. End quote, by Jim Rohn. Think about that, okay? Think about how you feel and realize that who we spend our time with, and I always say your time is very precious. Share it very judiciously and realize they affect us, okay? You feel the average of the way the 5 people you spend the most time with leave you feeling. So here's what you're going to do. I want you to write down the names of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Then be honest. Put next to their name whether or not they leave you, for the most part, feeling positive, put a plus, negative, put a minus, or, kind of a little bit of each, put an equals. Okay, so it's about neutral. And be honest with it. Now, I am not saying someone is always going to be positive. Everybody has their bad days, and we want to be a good friend and be there for them. But we also have Debbie Downers, negative Nellies, Eeyores in our life that all the time, all it is complain, complain, whine, whine, whine. And those are the people that you may or may not want to cut out of your life. Maybe you do. Maybe you need to. But at least limit your time with them. Okay? So at least limit your interaction with that person and use it to take care of yourself. Then, here's the thing. If you can, get at least 4 people that have plus signs after their name. The one that has the biggest plus sign, if you will, you know what I'm saying? Make an appointment to spend time with them. So set up a date, either a phone date if they live far away, or can you go out to lunch with them or for a cup of coffee or something and do that. That would be one of your assignments if you're doing day 2 stuff. Okay? So choose the people you spend your time with wisely. That's number 2. Number 3, this is a really fun exercise, and I highly recommend taking this one on. Expect something wonderful to happen each and every day. Now, my own life coach had me do this years ago because I realized in talking to her that I dreaded emails and phone calls. At the time, I owned a yoga studio, and every time someone called or sent an email, I was always nervous. They want a refund, they're not happy. And seriously, 1 out of 30 emails or phone calls was that. And more often than not, it was someone that I actually wanted to leave anyway because they weren't a good fit for the business and it was really hard to teach them. But it was there. And I realized every call, every email. So there was this feeling of dread all the time. And she said, instead, expect something wonderful is going to happen every single day. Every single day. And you're not quite sure how it's going to show up. Is it an email? Is it a phone call? Is it a ring on the door? Is it something someone says? So you're always waiting for something great to happen. You hear the bing go off, the notification that you got an email. It's like, ooh, could that be it? And you get kind of excited. The phone rings. Could this be it? There's going to be something really wonderful happening. What a powerful practice. That was probably 20 years ago, and I still do it. Now, I don't do it every day because I forget. But that's actually going to be the one I work on this week because I've already chose my people and I have chosen well. I already have a gratitude practice that I really love. And I thought I need to reincorporate this, expect something wonderful. Now, on the flip side of that, what I want you to think about is be that something wonderful for someone else every day. This is the piece that I really want to take on. So send a text, make a phone call, handwrite a card. I've started writing a weekly thank you card to somebody in my life, right? And just thinking about you. Just want to let you know how much I appreciate having you in my life. Thank you for being my friend, my mom, my sister, whatever. Okay? Incredibly fabulous to be that for somebody else. Okay, so number 1 is gratitude. Number 2, choose the people you spend your time with wisely. Number 3 is expect something wonderful to happen. Number 4, are you ready? Number 4 is Young Living products. Now, I gotta tell you, the oils are an incredibly powerful way to shift your attitude. Really powerful. So your limbic system is right next to what controls your emotional system is right next to where you breathe in and sense are sensed in the brain. So they're right next door. So it's a really powerful way to shift your emotions. So I have 5 oils I want to share with you. A couple are my very favorites. Apparently I need an attitude adjustment because some of my favorite oils are attitude adjustment oils. Coincidence? I don't think so. Okay, joy, number one. Number one attitude adjustment oil is joy. Okay, uplifting aroma. Research has actually found that the woodsy floral aroma is the most uplifting of aromas, and that's exactly what this is. So kind of cool, right? A drop on your heart is great. I love to diffuse equal amounts of joy and peppermint in the morning in the diffuser. It sets the kids to school in a great way and gets us all set up in the right way. A little bit of energy, a little bit of joy. Next one, kind of a no-brainer, gratitude. I love using this with my gratitude practice. It smells so amazing. Yes, and it is so great for shifting the emotions into a grateful place. Okay, this is the most potent oil. I think, there's probably exceptions, but I think this is the most potent oil I have ever experienced. Highest potential. Can you even see how worn out this bottle is? So this is one that I carry with me a lot. Highest potential. What it does is it helps you bring out your highest self. And I feel like that's what we're really working on deep down all the time. We want to bring out our highest selves. We want to live our purpose, live our soul's purpose, do what we're capable of. It's really powerful. Now, what I recommend is a 30-day highest potential challenge. We call it HP. And I think it's time for me to do this. I have not done this in a while. And I will tell you, I've done it twice now, 3 times. And every time I've done it, something huge has happened in my life. Like a really big step has occurred. I've actually been able to move into a really big step, and I think it's time to do it again. And so I carry it with me. You can tell by the bottle. I smell it. I wear it. I diffuse it. I put it in my bath, and I just keep it with me. HP. All right, the next one. Okay. Into the future. Okay, this one, I tried to write about it. It's very hard to put it into words. This oil is so powerful. This is what this oil does. And this is how, it smells really, really good. You know how, maybe there's something you want to create in your life, something you really want. And you can envision maybe 5 years out, you're like, yeah, I'd have it by then. And maybe 3 years out, well, maybe. And a year out, you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe. 6 months, probably not. 6 weeks, definitely not. You have to change eventually. In order for something to be different in 5 years, there has to eventually be a today that's different than yesterday. So whether you want a new job, or you want lots more money, or you want to be super fit, or whatever, things that they're going to take time to create. But eventually, you need to take the actions to do it, right? You need to actually step into some kind of action. And yet, even though maybe 5 years out, you can say, yeah, I definitely, totally have it by then. Well, do you actually believe, though, that today will be different than yesterday? And we don't. We don't really believe tomorrow's going to be different than today. We're not going to change. It's really going to be basically the same week that it was last week. Into the future helps you shift that. It allows you to shift today, so it's different than yesterday, so you can begin to step into the person you need to be to create what you want in 5 years. Incredibly powerful oil. Finally, envision. This is one of my favorites too. Envision helps you envision something bigger. And that's exciting, right? When we're looking at attitude, we need to be able to picture something bigger. We need to be able to change, and we need to be able to shift. Okay, guys, so I'm so excited for this week to share all this with you. You are going to, each day we're going to post as always. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you'll see all the posts. And it'll be gratitude. Then we're going to talk about choosing people. And there's a corollary to that you're definitely going to want to check out. And then there is expecting something wonderful. And if you're doing this live with us, we have a very, very special giveaway that's coming your way on Thursday. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. And on Friday, we will be doing the Young Living products, and then we'll step into our 3-day challenge again. So I hope you decide to join us and step into a whole lot more energy for you. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks for joining me.